to the king, baby.
Yes, sir. I need a weapon.
For the Emperor!
We are the Brotherhood of Steel.
You will feel fear, Angel.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Hello everybody, this is a 5-minute review on the game Masked Forces. Masked Forces was developed and published by Freeze Nova, the same guys who've done Galactic Force and Kingsguard Tower Defense. The release date was November 2016 and it is a first-person shooter action kind of arena game. So, Masked Forces, according to the Steam page, is an action-packed game where your main purpose is to eliminate your enemies using any means necessary. I would find that to be a very accurate, statement actually, so let's get into why. The game is a typical first-person shooter. It's an arena shooter in the same vein as Unreal Tournament or Quake 3 Revolution. Actually, in fairness, the game really reminds me of Counter-Strike 1.6, but with slightly higher quality graphics. You go through various game modes such as Deathmatch or Elimination and the like, and it's pretty standard, but the gameplay is actually fun. I do like it. It reminds me of those games that I mentioned, but still has enough similarities to games nowadays like Call of Duty that it doesn't feel too outdated. The other thing which I liked is that you can upgrade and buy new weapons, so your arsenal is ever expanding and always getting better. The maps are a little bit bland and some are symmetrical, but to be honest, if you're setting up a deathmatch game, sometimes simplicity is your best friend. Apart from a single player mode against bots, which, the AI seem a little bit off, shall we say, there is an online multiplayer mode which seems to fare in the same way. It's pretty fun. So, the graphics are fine. I mean, as I said earlier, they definitely, they would not blow you out of the water by any means necessary. I mean, this game would look good in the year, say, 2003 or 4, or maybe even a little closer. But yeah, they're not the best. Let me say that. Though they work for the game, and I don't find the graphics take away from the experience. Also, the guns look pretty good, so I mean, I think they've done a good enough job with it. The soundtrack, I think the game's sounds are fine. The guns sound pretty good. I never had a complaint in that department. The music is fine too. And they even had a voiceover when you kill people like they did in Unreal or Quake 3, which I thought was a nice touch. The whole, multi-kill, overkill, godlike and all that. They have something similar to that in this, so I thought it was a nice touch. So yeah, let's get into the roundup. The game is fine at best. I mean, it's good for a few minutes, but to be honest, if I wanted to play a game like Call of Duty or Unreal Tournament, I would just play Call of Duty or Unreal Tournament. I mean, I'm not saying games can't take inspiration from other games, but I'm saying that those two games I just mentioned are better games. But in saying that, Activision and Epic Games are much bigger companies with a lot more money, so I can appreciate that Freeze Nova may have had some limitations. And to be honest, I think they overcame and made a decent enough shooter game that's actually not too bad and pretty fun. So, yeah, let's get into my points. For graphics, I will give a 6 out of 10. They're fine. I mean, like I said, 2003, 2004 graphics. Not bad, but definitely a little bit dated. Especially for a game made in 2016. Sound, I will give a 7 out of 10. The music is fine, and the gun sounds are fine too. They're not bad, but they're standard. Worth is 8.5 out of 10. Now, yeah, pretty high score, but the game is 99 cents, and to be honest, there are a hell of a lot more worse games out there for that price, or even more. The game itself is, again, pretty fun, and if you're into arena shooters, then the game is for you. And for less than €1 or $1 or £1 to be honest, I think it's a bargain. Story, I'm going to give 0 out of 10. There really isn't any story per se, but they did add a campaign mode, but it's really just playing through the game modes. I higher difficulties. And gameplay, I will give a 7 out of 10. The game is fun. It's a nice compact little shooter that reminds you of the old shooter games, and I don't think it tries me more than it is. I know I'm repeating myself at this point, but as I said, I think they've done a good enough job, and I'm happy enough with the end product. So that gives Masked Forces a grand total of 57 out of 100. That is my review, and as always, thanks for watching.